Hello, I'm Brendan Frye from C&G, and we're here at the Xbox Holiday Showcase talking to,
Corb Smith, Marketing Director at Square Enix.
and we're going to talk about Hitman Absolution today. Can you tell us a bit about the game?
Sure. Well, this is Agent 47's most personal journey yet. It unfolds as a whole story, not a series of assassination missions. And he's tasked with protecting a young girl, which takes him all the way from Chicago out to the streets of Hope, South Dakota. And really, the team has created what we believe to be the ultimate Hitman experience.
Agent 47 has always been kind of a morally ambiguous character. How have you dealt with that, having you take care of a child in this game?
Yeah, well, it's a young girl, not a small child. It's not a babysitting mission. But yeah, you're right. He's always been mysterious and very stoic. In fact, the first mission in the game has him assassinating his longtime handler, Diana.
Really?
Which sets up a lot of emotion within him, although it's maybe hard to detect. But ultimately, it forces him to turn his back on his agency. So we all know the barcode, et cetera. His whole identity is really based on working for the agency, but this gets him into a real turning point, both in terms of who he is, his identity, but offers him a chance to really show his skills in a way we've never seen.
How have you kind of dealt with the linear nature of the way these games have worked? There always was a linear path you had to kind of follow. There's numerous ways you could do it, but there's always one way. Is it more procedurally generated now? Is it more complex in the way routines work?
I mean, as we said, it may be more like every level is more like a puzzle that you can figure out and you can play in different ways. So there's a lot of depth and freedom. The game doesn't necessarily branch based on your actions, but within each area we find that we have some of the most replayable missions ever. The amount of depth, they're using their new technology, Glacier 2, which was built specifically with advanced scripting in mind, meaning we can track hundreds of NPCs and unique actions, incredible dialogue trees, etc. Your actions have an impact on everything within that area, and you'll feel very powerful because of it.
I know Hitman was, Blood Money was the one that first had the that massive crowd in Carnival, and that kind of really kind of showed what it meant to be a Hitman. You can kind of go in there. Does it have more of that kind of stuff in this game?
The crowd technology has been beefed up immensely, and I think the team wanted to utilize it in certain areas. So whether it's a train station or a country fair or all manner of places where you can really use the crowd to blend in as combination or as combined with your use of disguises, the crowd, and some pretty cool navigation. It's really a fun kind of hide and seek gameplay that they put in there.
So what is new with the series? Like, what do people get when they pick up this game? There's a new modes. What can they get?
Well, one of the most important, I think, features that's been added is called Instincts, and it allows you to kind of see the world through the eyes of Agent 47. It means you can see and predict pathing of enemies. You can see enemy locations. It kind of takes the mini-map and puts it into the world, and it really allows people to kind of get in, get their bearings, and start having fun right away. It also affords you two new kind of what I call smart bombs. One, an offensive smart bomb called point shooting, which allows you to actually target multiple targets or explosive items in the environment and shoot very quickly, very accurately in one full burst, as well as a hide in plain sight feature where you can use Instinct while you have a disguise and allows you to obscure your face or do something with an animation to give you just a few extra seconds before you're actually detected.
Now, will there be multiplayer in this version? Because I know all the other ones are very singular experiences. Will this one kind of go beyond that?
It's not what you think in terms of normal multiplayer. Agent 47 definitely works alone. Being a Hitman is a solitary sort of act, but we do have asynchronous multiplayer. So we just announced Contracts Mode, which was based on really inspired by the community itself. So we found that on Blood Money and other games, players were filming themselves going into a level and actually assassinating not their target, but some other random NPC. And they were doing it in certain ways. They were tracking how fast they could do it, how efficiently they could do it. They'd post the video, and others would challenge to do it better and post their own videos. Well, the team said, well, why don't we officialize this? Let's formalize the process and put it into the game. So you can do just that. You can go into almost any level in the game, and you can select up to 3 targets. It tracks how you kill them, whether you're seen, any weapons you use, and it compiles it as a challenge that you can then send out to your friends or to the world. They're actually going to pick 5 contracts, custom contracts each week to be ranked and to challenge the communities, and it really allows us to finally put to bed who in the world is the ultimate assassin.
You were saying before we actually got filming that the shooting mechanics have been improved in this game. How have they improved? Can you go in guns blazing in this game?
You can go guns blazing. Your score will suffer if you do, but I think, personally, I find it a lot of fun. Because of the new cover system, and because of a lot of refinements to kind of the aiming, the reticule, as well as the feel and the sound of the weaponry itself, it's really a whole new experience. I mean, as you said, some people may not have found the shooting experience much fun in previous Hitman games. There was kind of a reason for that. I think it forced you to think outside of the box. You weren't meant to be a one-man army. In this, you'll certainly be challenged. You don't necessarily want to go up a big group of guys, but I think the shooting mechanics, all in all, will really satisfy action gamers, as well as give people who are more casual kind of a better entry level in, where they can kind of focus on the action, focus on the shooting, and gradually learn what it really means to play Hitman.
Now, you were saying earlier about disguises. Are disguises still in the game to the extent they were, or are they kind of been evolved beyond that?
Disguises have evolved quite a bit. So you still have normal disguises. Let's say you're surrounded by cops, and you manage to get a cop disguise. Well, the closer you are to someone who actually has your same uniform, the more suspect they are, right? They can detect that you're not really a cop. So suspicion levels are based like that, but we also have disguises that actually afford you really, really cool abilities. For instance, we have a courtroom level that we haven't shown off yet, but I can tell you 2 examples within just that level. One is a judge who takes a bathroom break from the thing. You can actually grab him, take his robe, return to court, and actually rule on the hearing. There's also, in that case, a witness, or actually the victim, the suspect, who also takes a break. If you get his costume, you can be sentenced to jail, and you're escorted down to the cells, which is where you want to go as part of the mission. So in that, it's really amazing that you get real power from these disguises. I won't tell you the other one, my favorite one. I'll keep that a secret for now. But you're going to find disguises go way beyond just hiding from people. They actually give you power over situations.
Is there anything else you want to mention about Hitman Absolution that really makes this game one to pick up?
I think it's a tremendous story. I think it really is the penultimate Hitman experience. I think what we've been trying to communicate, and it's very tough until people get their hands on it, is just how accessible it is to people who may have found Hitman in the past too hard to not. I think those that love Hitman are very proud of how intelligent they feel when playing it, and that hasn't gone away. The game hasn't been dumbed down, but I do think there are a lot of people who may have found it too difficult, etc., that because of Instincts mode and because of the way the game is built and ramps up and the way the story evolves, are really going to get sucked in, and they're going to be Hitman fans for life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brendan.